Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Scott with our last e-learning lesson for the year, and today we're going to make these paper cutouts of a row of flowers, kind of like the old-fashioned paper dolls that people used to cut out. Spring hasn't felt like it's totally officially sprung quite yet to me, so I went ahead with a welcome spring message on mine, but you could leave that off or change it or just focus on the flowers. If you would like. So that's our concept. You're going to need crayons, pencil, and some scissors. So we're going to start with our white rectangle page, and we're going to fold it what we call at school hot dog style. And I always like to give the tip to match up the sides, hold them with this hand, and then slide across the fold this way first. This keeps your paper from shifting on you and getting misaligned or unlined up or crooked. So I like to slide this way first, and then you're going to open it up and you're going to cut this in half. And you can just set the extra paper aside for if you perhaps need a second try, or you just want to make a second one later, or what have you. We're just going to focus on this one right now. So then the next thing that we need to do is we need to get this accordion fold so that we can cut all the layers at once. Okay, and so to make that accordion fold happen, what we need to do is the first thing we're going to do is kind of envision about how big this paper would be if it were chopped into 4 equal parts. When you get older in school, you're going to learn about fractions, and so this is kind of a first concept of fractions, dividing up one thing into equal parts. And so each part would be about this big. I'm just making a gentle C with my hand and kind of looking. You can do the same with your hand on your page to kind of measure. And we're just going to give it a shot. So I'm going to fold up this bottom edge here, and I'm going to line it up with the sides. If the sides are lined up, then it's going to be nice and straight. If the side is crooked or hanging off like this, then your flowers aren't going to connect quite right. So try to check that and make sure this part here is lined up. Hold it on this side, cross here first, and then back and forth. So that's one section that's folded. Now we're going to turn it over, and through my paper, I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but through my paper, I can kind of see the edge of the line underneath, which is great because that is exactly how far I need to fold over. So now I'm going to fold over, and I'm going to again look over here and see if this is lined up, because I don't want it like that. I want it to be right matched up with the edge. And I'm going to look along the bottom and see, is the end of my rectangle flap here also where this new fold is happening? And then I'm going to press that down if that's close. It looks like I was a little off, so I'm going to correct myself. There we go. All right, and then one last time I'm going to turn it over, and I can see that line from underneath. If you're using copy paper especially, you should be able to see through your paper. It's a little bit easier if you're using copy paper than a thick construction paper for this. And then you should have from the edge what looks like an M if you did your accordion correctly. All right, so then we're going to lay our paper down, and we're going to focus on drawing the flower shape. So the key that you need to know is that we have to have parts that connect on the edges of our flowers. So I'll show you what that means for our drawing here so that our flowers don't fall apart. Let's zoom down a little so we can see this closer. Okay, so, whoops. The first thing that we're going to do then is work on this zigzag that's at the top of the tulip flower. So I like to come in from each edge first, a little bit diagonal here, and then up to the middle, up to the middle. So this looks like the letter W. Okay. Next, we're going to do the round bottom line that comes under the colored part of the flower. And in school, I usually refer to that as a gentle smile line. It's not a super curved line. It's just gently curved. So you're going to draw that in. Next, we're going to have a nice thick stem. We need a hardy stem for this so that it's a nice sturdy cutout. We don't want it too thin and fragile where it would break on you, and that would be frustrating, okay? So you can take those lines actually all the way down the page. And then the last thing we're going to do is draw 2 leaves right at the bottom. One's going to come up here and here, here, and here. Okay? And any other decoration that you want to put on, you're going to wait until after you cut. So first we're going to now keep this folded as we cut. Okay, so I'm going to turn my paper. And remember, the power of the scissors is in this part of the scissors in here, not snip, snip, snip in here. Okay, so we want to open our scissors, place our paper inside, and then we want to use our hand that isn't holding the scissors to steer. A lot of times at school we talk about how it's kind of like driving a car on a road. So we use one hand to steer. All right, and then I'm going to start down below the flower. Now this one's important. Don't cut all the way across. Stop when you get to the stem. Very important to stop when you get to the stem. And then turn. We're going to cut down here. Now this is a pretty hard turn, so I'm going to suggest you don't go in and try to turn your paper and go around that. I'm going to suggest that you cut down the stem, bring your scissors out, and then start back on the edge of your paper and cut around your leaf to match it, and that shape will fall right out for you. And then we're going to cut down below. All right, so that middle area is probably the toughest one. Now we're going to work on the other side. I'm going to cut down below the flower, down along the stem. And I'm not going to make that super tight turn around like this because that's a little frustrating. So I'm going to come back out here and cut the top line of my leaf, and that will help this to pop right out. And then below the leaf. All right, so when you get finished, you should be able to open your row of tulips and take a look at how that turned out. You can do the same concept with people shapes and all kinds of things actually. So that's the concept of cutting out. After you're finished cutting, you can go ahead and decorate your flowers any way that you would like. I just did something very simple. You could do however you would like to decorate your flowers, and even add a message if you would like to someone special, or just a welcome spring or summer message. And that'll be something beautiful to decorate your space as we go into the summer and the rest of spring. All right, have a great summer.